The chair will now recognize the author of Proposal 128 for a 4-minute opening statement. Author, you may begin when ready.
Thank you, Sir Chair. Thompson, Minnesota. I reserve the right to yield my remaining time to my summation.
You have that right.
My fellow delegates, you may be thinking to yourself, why do we need to raise the age of eligibility for Social Security to 75? Well, with the United States debt surpassing $13.1 trillion, it is a necessity. According to data from the Concierge Medical Research Collective, $13 trillion could buy 50 years of round-the-clock, on-care medical care for the entire population of the United States. The population of the United States is around 308 million. So each one in this very room owes $42,000, $282 to those who are financing our debt. And all of you and all of your parents who are working in the workforce owe $85,000. The average American working family owes $15,000 to China alone. Furthermore, the national debt is continuing to increase at an average of $4 billion per day since 2007, which means our share is increasing by the very second. Now, based on the rate of voluntary contributions over the past 5 years, it would take Americans more than 6 million years to pay off the $13 trillion. And with a personal median income of about $40,000, it would take countries 139 million workers 76 years to pay off the $13 trillion if everyone was forced to put aside 3% of their income a year. Now, the Treasury Department has the third largest expense in the federal budget. Our government is paying about $400 billion per year on the interest alone on our national debt. That is 8 times as much as we spend on our education. This money used to pay interest is wasted money. This money could be used to improve our nation. Our schools would not be getting budget cuts. Our infrastructure could be improved and our environment could be saved. By dollars paid, the United States Social Security program is the largest government program in the entire world and the single greatest expenditure in our federal budget, accounting for 20.8%. And many young workers believe that the problem is so severe that they will never receive a Social Security check. It is quite clear that the national debt is a crisis that needs to be addressed. And if we want our grandparents, our parents, and ourselves to be protected in the future in our old age, well, the best way to do this is raise the age of retirement. Thank you. I reserve the remaining time to my summation.
2 minutes.
Johnson, Louisiana. Delegates, I do know we, as a country, we have $13.1 trillion in debt. But I do understand that there are more ways than this to relieve it. Now look at it like this. Men and women between the age of 65 and 75, some of them are 1 too old, and some of them are even more eligible to get injured. Now he's talking about releasing those from the age of 65, between 75 and working for Social Security, but not those that are injured. How is that fair? Some might try to injure themselves just so they can receive their Social Security just to get by. Now, do you understand that if we do this, 40% of all elderly people will become under the poverty line? Now, look at it like this. I know you hate your days to be stolen. As delegates, I know after 12 o'clock when people say that we have chores or stuff to do, you feel ashamed that now your day is gone. But how would you feel if your grandparents are now taking your jobs, keeping you unemployed? For all those who are having grandparents in this range, think of it like this. Do your grandparents finally deserve a time of rest after their many years of service? Can you honestly look them in the eye and say that you have to go back to work, grandmama? Because, I'm sorry, we need to relieve our debt, but you have to go back to work. Thank you for taking my job. How would you feel about that? Look at it like this, my delegates. If we allow us to have it, half for all the young Americans, 20%, will be unemployed, already to the economy that we have today. And even if we do relieve the debt, what about those that are injured? They're still getting paid. How do we stop the people that might injure themselves just for that? I relieve all my time to the chair.
Paul Straw, Bali United Nations. Thank you, Sir Chair. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we can all agree that the current form of Social Security is in trouble. The possible funds for benefits have decreased as newer generations have not been able to fully support the vast amount of people on the system. Soon, we will see failure of the system unless this necessary change proposed by the author is made. The age limit of 65 is an ancient relic that no longer benefits the nation as a whole. Evidently, the author has evidence that supports that keeping the Social Security age at 65 will result in disaster. That is why it needs to be changed. We need to readjust the Social Security age to stay in line with our current life expectancy. Social Security, its definition has been bloated over the years. It is not meant to be a primary income source for all Americans that lasts 10 or 15 years of your life. Social Security was originally proposed to be a support system to those who are truly old and have saved money throughout their lives. It is a supplement to those who truly need it. This proposal helps the people who really can't work, who are unable to contribute. I understand that many of us believe that Social Security must eventually be replaced and entirely changed. However, we cannot immediately scrap the system. We must fix and reform what we have now. We must raise the Social Security age. If you want your parents to ever receive full benefits ever in their lives, this age must be raised. If you all ever want to live your oldest days in peace when you truly need it, this age needs to be raised. If you want this nation to survive and improve as an economic powerhouse, this is something that we must do. Ladies and gentlemen, we cannot allow this system to fail. It has served us well for years, and if continued, it should benefit all of us for some time to come. I quote Andrew Carnegie when I say, "The workers of the world reap the benefits of service."
The gentleman's time has expired.